Hi, this is Chris, and today I wanted to show you how to go about getting started in Garageband to make a podcast. This first video will just show you how to kind of get set up and get ready for your project, and then the subsequent videos will go into more detail about how to do that. So first, of course, we need to open up the app. There's a couple ways you can do that. You might want to look down your dock. GarageBand might already be there. It looks like a guitar. You'll see it there, maybe. If not, a couple other places you might find it. The first is you can go to Finder, and you can go to Applications, and GarageBand should be there in the list, in the G's, it's alphabetical. Or, from your desktop, you could have went to Go, Applications, and GarageBand again will be on the list in the G section. Or my favorite way is Spotlight Search. Keyboard shortcut for that is Command Space, and you can just type in the name, Garage, a couple letters actually, we'll get it, and then you can fire it on. It takes a second to open. It's really important you teach your kids when you're dealing with GarageBand to be really patient. Sometimes things take a while, they just have to wait. They should notice the icon here on the dock will start to bounce. That's a good signal that it's opening and thinking, and they just need to be patient and wait. That'll bring you to this opening screen where you can pick what kind of project you want. For podcasts, well, I guess I should say first that GarageBand is mainly made to make music, and it can do all kinds of amazing things with music. But I don't know how to do any of those things. If anybody wants some help with that, I would suggest you hit up Jacob Calderwood. He's really good at that kind of stuff. I use this just for podcasting, for kids recording their voice, doing projects, that kind of thing. No music. So to do that, I find the best way is to go here, Empty Project. And you can just double click on Empty Project, or you can click it once and then click Choose, either way. That'll bring you to a screen that should look something like this. Like I said, we're not going to really do much with the music part of this, so I'm just going to leave this microphone selected, which has already got kind of a spotlight shining on it. You want to make sure this is unchecked, I believe is the way to go. And we're going to click Create. Okay, that brings you to a screen that looks something like this. You're about ready to go. You could start recording now if you wanted to, but there's just some things here that I suggest to make things a little cleaner and easier for your kiddos. Like here at the top, there's two options. You can tell they're selected because they're purple. The first one is the metronome, which is a little clicking sound that helps musicians keep the beat, from what I understand, but we don't need it in a podcast, so we're going to turn that off. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4 is, how when musicians go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they start playing their music. Well, this gets a little delay there, so when you hit record, it gives a delay for the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll start to record. So if your students come to you and say, it cut off the beginning of my recording, this is probably why. They probably need to turn this option off. So you can need that. Now that I've clicked on it, there's no more purple up here, and that is what we want for our podcast. So make sure, check those two settings. I just train the kids to do that first thing as soon as we get in here. Everybody needs to turn that off. The other thing is this drawer area over here. This is where you go to add effects to your voice, and we'll get back to that later, but we really don't need it right now. It's just kind of in the way and takes up a lot of screen space. So you can turn that off right here, hit Library, and it closes it. You can bring it back, same way, close it again, same way. And then sometimes your window will have this area at the bottom. Again, this is more of an advanced editing feature. Usually I do not use this with podcasts, so if it's open, I have students click this pair of scissors here to close it. And that just gets rid of a lot of distractions, makes everything a lot cleaner. There are some couple options over here on the right you might want to know about. This first one is a notepad. This is really handy if you've had your students type a script that you're going to have them read into their podcast. They can copy and paste it right here, or they could go ahead and you can do the typing right into this. I probably don't really recommend that. Probably better to do it in Word, that way you can save it as you go and just copy and paste it into here. But what this does is it allows you to then have it handy for reading as you do your recording. So the kids can be staring at the screen, which puts them in the right position to speak to the microphone, and they can just read their lines right off of the screen. That's the first option here. It's called Notepad. Turn it off and on by clicking. Over here, There is the Apple Loops. This is where you find lots of sound effects and songs. We'll play with those a little bit more in the other videos. And this far right option is the media, where you would go to find music and other things that you made in Garageband. And again, we'll play with that later in a different video. One more thing up here. You notice currently this is all counting in things that have to do with music. C, major, signature, bars and beats, and all these things that I'm sure are very important to musicians, but they don't mean anything to me. So I'm going to change this to time, which then just helps you keep track of how long your podcast is. I think that's a little more useful. Now you'll notice here we have audio 1, which is our first track. With the selection that we made earlier, it just gives us the one track, which is usually all you need if you just only have one student who's going to be doing the speaking. Now I have done some projects with classes where there are multiple characters. Maybe they're doing like a radio play. So you have a narrator and maybe character 1, character 2, character 3. And it might be a good idea to have a different track for each of those characters, especially if you're going to add effects to it later. So the way you do that is here with your plus sign. You just hit the plus. Again, choose the microphone. It's already selected, so you just leave it there. Click Create. And now we have 2 tracks. I don't know why it opens our library again, but we're just going to close that. And you can rename this track. So this could be your narrator. Oops, need 2 R's in narrator. There we go. And this could be, I don't know, one of your characters was named Bob. And then you could add another track, leave it on the microphone, click Create, close the library again. And we could change this one, the 3rd track, to, I don't know, Sue. Whatever. So now we have 3 tracks. And when it's Bob's turn to speak and record, we'll click on that track. And when it's Sue's turn, we'll click on that. And when it's the narrator's turn, we'll click here on their track to highlight it. And then whatever we record will appear on their track. And later, when I show you how to add effects to the narrator's voice, those effects will apply to everything that's on this track. So we'll play with that a little bit more in the next video. I think that is everything that we needed to know for just getting set up and ready to go. Once you get to this point, you're ready to actually have your kids start doing the recording, and we'll tackle how to do that in the next clip.